Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Sussex Smuggler. I'm Captain James Bollinger, and hello as well if you're watching this show on the replay. Good to have you. How are you doing? You all right? I take it. Brilliant stuff. Let's just sort out some of the background music a bit more from Reiviers Gallows. There we go. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Get some stuff going down the bottom there. There we are. So welcome back to another episode of the Sussex Smuggler live Monday 8 p.m. And of course, as I've already said, if you're watching the replay, hello to you. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, please. Be very much appreciated. Well, it's been a busy couple of days last week. I know it was only a four-day week for most of us in the UK last week. I won't say why, but you can probably work it out. So there was a few things to do, especially having a rest, a barbecue, dubbing one's cavalry boots, reading some books, making a vlog. If you've not seen that, that's on the channel as well, about Shoreham Fort. Have a look at that, please. Terrific that is. I'm hoping to get inside the fort and have a look round and maybe make a vlog and bring that to you at some time in the future. So, right, what have we got for you tonight? Well, we've got our usual drop of, you know what, pear juice, apple juice, fruit juice. Cheers. Have a good one. Hang on a minute. That'll keep the old whistle well and truly oiled. Okay, so I was talking to you last time, I think, about this particular book that I've been reading. Here it is, right here. I've got it. There it is. I'll put it up on the screen now. Let's have a look here so we can get this up onto there. Something should happen. There we go. Yeah. Adrian Tinniswood's Pirates of Barbary. Very interesting read. As I've said, I may need to consult my notes on this one. Very interesting read, I've got to say. It examines the pirates of the Mediterranean, the Corsairs, and it's an interesting read. It's set in the 17th century, most of it, and it goes right through to the 18th century. Actually, 19th century, the early 19th century. Beg your pardon. And it sets the scene to the politics and the piracy and the trade that went on between the European nations and the Mediterranean nations of the Ottoman Empire, the Moors, the Algerians. It actually sets a good scene. And what I can't work out is that I don't know of any or of many films or series available on TV or at the cinema or whatever about the Barbary pirates. Barbary coming from the word Berber, which is a tribe in Morocco, because it really is exciting reading to read, especially from this book. And this is what this book does. What the relationship that the pirates of the Barbary coast had, mainly with the rest of Europe, and how things operated. Some interesting statistics come out of it, especially that they reckon that there was about 1 million European slaves captured by the Corsairs of the Barbary coast. And the DNA in the Barbary Coast area would be a very interesting examination to do. There's probably more West European influences in terms of hereditary genes and makeup of people. So very interesting read, to say the very least. It's a good purchase. So get out there and buy it from your bookstore. I mean, as I said, just looking at my notes, explains what the Corsair is. It stretches from modern day Morocco right around to Turkey. It also reveals who they think, or the author Adrian Tinniswood thinks Captain Jack Sparrow is based on. So he's got a mention in there. What else have we got? The trade routes with the Dey and the Pashas, they were the leaders, the authority. They used to refer to apparently Algiers as the pirates' nest. Very interesting. A lot of it was destroyed by the French Navy. And it would appear that Oliver Cromwell, surprisingly, was the first English or first Western European commander to actually send an organised force to destroy the Barbary pirates because they ran amok. And as the book goes on and examines that because of various wars in Europe that they were forgotten about, and the easiest way to deal with the Barbary pirates was actually to pay them to not raid the European shipping, or in some cases raid other European shipping. So an interesting read, I have to say. The price of it is, I've got it right here. Let's have a look. The price of it is a £9.99. Probably all from Amazon. It's a terrific read, got to say. Absolutely loved it. It took me a while to get through, a bit longer than what I'd like, but it always does these days. Life gets in the way of things. But yeah, excellent read. Some good illustrations in here from back in the day. A bibliography of information and references. No, it's terrific. I'll be keeping hold of this and probably using the chapter or two to maybe write a blog about who the real Captain Jack Sparrow was, which is interesting. He's because he's nothing to do with, of course, the Caribbean. All this being set way before all that had a look in, really. So yeah, a great read. It's often forgotten as well, a bit like Madagascar, the pirates of the Mediterranean. So it sets the scene, and a lot of the corsairs weren't naturally um, Islamic um, pirates or nationals from Morocco, Tunisia, or Algeria, or even Turkey. Some of them were actually renegade Europeans that took up a role as sometimes as high as admiral and captain ships. Normally rowed galleys with sails and slaves on board and raided European convoys. So interesting read. Some of the renegade European pirates actually turned what they used to say turned Turk and started their faith in Islam. Some went back to Europe and reverted back to Christianity. So yeah, it's an interesting read, and you probably blow your socks off at some of the revelations included in it. So well worth a read. But I won't be getting on to my second book review just yet because I'll put this up here now. Another banner. Look at that. Is that going to go up? No. Oh, they'll just leave that up there. Sorry. What I want to talk to you about is I was meant to go and see a film, the Three Musketeers, the D'Artagnan episode, but I never got the chance because it was up on the cinema so quickly and taken down, you couldn't get a look in. But I did compensate, although it's a little different to what I wanted to originally see, with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, they're a great series. I mean, I'm finding with Marvel, hang on, let me just wet my whistle, excuse me. Oh, that's better. That apple juice is terrific. Um, yeah. Sorry, it's live, isn't it? Things are going to go wrong. Look, getting back to Guardians of the Galaxy, they're a terrific series because I'm finding with Marvel it's very much of a muchness mainstream, with the exception of things like Jessica Jones and things like that. And Guardians of the Galaxy have come along and they keep it just it seems to keep itself revitalized with action, comedy. I mean, it's so cheesy. It's just funny. But this time, believe me, the film is very funny, as it always is, if not funnier. But it's got an interesting backstory to um, Rocket Raccoon. You see, Groot has evolved into something now. He's much bigger, for example. Drax is there playing an absolute blinder of a role, being a complete Wally. Um, but the film unfolds. I'm not going to reveal the plot to you, but do go and see it. It's brilliant. Absolutely loved it. And I'd go and see it again if I had the chance, to be honest with you. There's so much detail in it. But it's just, it is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as it should be. It's consistent with the other two. But I think it's probably the best Marvel film, quite possibly since Endgame. And that's saying something. But yeah, as I said, there's an interesting story to or backstory, side story to Rocket Raccoon, um, and then the plot picks up from there, and they do the usual sort of thing. And if you go to the cinema, don't leave before the credits or during the credits because there's another two clips. You know what Marvel are like with their films; they're a bit of a hook and tease sort of. Their hook and tease ending credits that they publish with their films. Just hang around until it's properly finished. Yeah, terrific film. Absolutely loved it. You could take anyone to see it. There's something in there for small children. There's something in there for teenagers. There's something in there for grown adults. Brilliant film. Absolutely loved it. I went and saw it at probably the best cinema in the United Kingdom called the Dome Cinema in Worthing, or the Electric Cinema as it was once known, built in 1911. Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. So please, yeah, if you get a chance, go to your local picture house cinema. If you can find a National Lottery community cinema that you know is cheap and the money all goes to the upkeep of the place, not some international corporation that profiteers from showing films, and please, if you can do it, please do. It's great. I mean, if you get a chance, if you live local to Worthing and you can get to the Dome, do, because it's an experience in itself, and all the money goes towards the upkeep of the cinema. And when you get in there, it is a big wow factor with the oak panelling, gold, and the old chandeliers in the main lobby and the cinema area. They've got three screens there, but if you can, you want to get in the main screen one. That's what you want. Fantastic, nice bit of popcorn. Got a lovely bar called the Projectors Bar. You get a nice glass of wine or a gin and tonic. Take the drink in with you to watch the film if you so wish. Um, but yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So if you have not seen it at the pictures, please go now. And by the way, if you've not seen my vlog that I did, it's up on my YouTube channel where I do a bit of a 10-minute walk around the fort at Shoreham. So have a look at that, please. That's terrific. So what have I got planned coming up? Well, I mean, I've purchased this vlogging camera, and the Shoreham Fort was my first go at it, and it takes a bit of getting used to, but there's a few projects I've got coming up and some photo shoots. I'm not in a position to reveal any of them at the moment. I'm sworn to secrecy, as you might say. So we'll see how that unfolds. But one thing I'd like to share with you, listeners, and if you want to keep up to date, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and of course the sussexsmuggler.co.uk at the blog, and you can contact me through the contact form on the blog or through my YouTube channel. But one thing I'm working on at the moment is I'd like to do a vlog around the Amsterdam shipwreck in Balderried Hastings with maybe a little little bit of a detailed commentary on a vlog. So, I mean, we're coming into this sort of time of year where you've got good light, but what you've also got to factor in is that because of where it is, it's actually it's tidal on the beach, and of course there's quicksand all around it. So you want to be obviously you want to be careful, but you'll need to time it so that the tide is going out or is out by the time I get there. I only probably need 10-15 minutes to walk round it and perhaps describe what a bit of a story to the ship, how it ended up there, and what you can see and what's in it. If I can, I'll try and get to the Hastings ship museum, the shipwreck museum, because I've got some of the artefacts I understand from the ship itself in there. I don't think it's all the artefacts from the ship, but there you have it. So that's what I've got planned coming up in hopefully this year. Next year, it's possible that we might be taking a trip out to Amsterdam to look at the National Maritime Museum and actually look at the replica of the Amsterdam. But we're waiting to be seen. Let's see. Let's not get our hopes up high. You know how things go sometimes. So that's certainly do the shipwreck itself down there in Hastings. I'm definitely going to be doing that. Cheers, everybody. Grab a drink, relax. Hang on. And of course, we've got Portsmouth Comic Con coming up at the end of the month, I believe. It's somewhere in June, something like early June, late May, early June. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments below. Make sure you get your tickets for that. If you can, get the train into the city. They've got a ULEZ style scheme in the city now for cleaner air. Or use the park and ride outside the city, get the bus in. But get your tickets for the Comic Con's plenty going on. So a big shout out to the Gosport Steampunk Society. They've got a piratical exhibition going on there, from what I understand. So I may be down there myself seeing them. We'll have to see. So yeah, get your tickets. A big, as I said, once again, big shout out to the Gosport Steampunk Society. And best of luck, of course, in getting your exhibition and whatever it is you've got planned at the Comic Con. But what else have we got coming up? That's all I can think of at the moment. But if you need a shout out on here, just get hold of me on the comment section and let me know. And if I remember, I'll try and give you the shout out, of course. But I am only human after all. And of course, this is live and anything can go wrong at any point in time. So a big thank you once again to Reiviers Gallows for providing the music to the show. The Privateers Defeat, fantastic instrumental, if you ask me. Brilliant, going from strength to strength. Reiviers Gallows, one of our favourite bands here. But yeah, I've been reading this other book. Hang on, let me put it up on the screen for you to see. This book is the history of gibbeting. And there it is, right there. Yeah, terrific. Look at that cover. It's brilliant, isn't it? The history of gibbeting by Samantha Priestley. It's another purchase I made from the Museum of London Docklands when I visited for the exhibitions. Not exhibitions. It was an exhibition. The execution exhibition. Get it right. I told you it's live. It always goes wrong. So I picked that up, had a little read of that. Not a bad little book. Available at penandswords.co.uk for the price of, let's have a look, drum roll, $19.99. It's an easy read kind of book. I mean, it is. There's some things that I picked up on that is historically not overly inaccurate, but not quite right either, you know. But it's a good read, nonetheless. It's the only book I know of that's available on the market at the moment that gives you some sort of insight into gibbeting, an interesting subject in itself. And it examines, as I said already, examines the history of gibbeting, and how it was used as a post-mortem punishment. They were made locally by a blacksmith. There was no national plan, it was just an interpretation of the blacksmith at the time. And the reason for gibbeting wasn't just for a deterrent against people or potential criminals. Got to just wet the whistle again. It's going down well, this stuff. Excuse me. Yes, that's right. I was down the old farm shop over the weekend getting a few bits and pieces like cider and fruit juice, and I stopped there for a tea and a scone, a cream tea, absolutely lovely, overlooking, of course, the Ashdown Forest. But yes, getting back to the gibbeting. So the idea was it was a post mortem punishment, not just as a deterrent to tell people not to commit crimes, but it was also as a punishment to keep you between heaven and earth. And of course, the victims of this really was the family that would see you hanging around. I guess that's where the saying comes from. And you could be left up there for something like 50 years or so, or maybe more, and you're left to rot. The birds come along and pick at you, and the elements destroy you as well. So yeah, as I said, an interesting read. Didn't even realise that if you're gibbeted, what's left of you, you're normally buried there and then, and that's your resting place. A lot of the time, it turns out from the book that families would take the gibbet down and secretly bury the gibbeted person somewhere. The book also details how what landmarks in relation to things like Gibbet Lane, Gibbet Field, things like that, where there's a name of a person, for example, Bollinger Road or Bollinger Lane, that it's considered that they were gibbeted along there. So it gives you a useful insight into that. Also, the Murder Act, it toys around with the Murder Act. A lot of commentary in the book about that, and it discusses women that were not normally gibbeted, and they actually were burned at the stake. If not, they were then dissected because they were in very high demand for doctors and surgeons to examine, because obviously for scientific interests, of course. What else have we got here? Yeah, I've already said they're left for years for rotting, and just left as deterrents and what have you. So yeah, overall it's a decent little book. It's all right. It's an easy read. As I said, it's not historically accurate, but at the end of it to the naked eye, it's okay. Um, I'd like to think I learnt a few things about the subject of gibbeting. So yeah, terrific. Really, it's good. It's okay. It's fine. As I said, Pen and Sword, 1999 in hardback. Nice little souvenir to have from the museum. I thought, of course, the museum, if you go there and you buy it there, they get the money for it. So it's all good. What I did notice when I was reading through it, a lot of it, well, not a lot of it, some of it discusses cases, and I think what they've done is pretty similar to what I've done on some of the blogs. Is they've actually pulled the court transcript off the Old Bailey website and introduced them into the book, so you get an idea of what was said at the trial and all the rest of it. I think it was about a week ago. Was it last Monday? I think it was, wasn't it? Last Monday, I took some poetry. There were some poems written about gibbeted and gibbeting, and I put that on a podcast. If you haven't listened to that and you're feeling a bit sleepy, then you can put up with my dulcet tones. Have a listen to that. That might be of interest to you. Absolutely love doing a podcast. It's lovely. Just get in and do it. Get on with it, and off it goes, and share it about. So, as I said earlier, if you could like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be terrific. This is what it's going out on tonight, as well as Facebook. So, hello to all you YouTube people and Facebook people. Please share it around, put it on history groups that might be interested. And I'd like to say a big thank you to the admins and moderators that uh, grant permission for some of my work to go up on the group for people to read and watch and listen to. So, really do appreciate that, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. And I think some people find it interesting as well. So, cheers from the old tankard here. A bit battered, this one. I don't know if it's not quite a circle at the top, but it's a good vessel for carrying apple juice, believe me. Excuse me a minute. Well, we're coming up to the final few minutes of the show. So, as I said earlier, hopefully I'll be able to get a bit of vlogging done, and I'm targeting the Amsterdam wreck at Hastings. I'm also going to have a look at I believe there's a similar fort that has just been left in the sand dunes at, I believe it's Littlehampton, I think, on the western shore. So I'm going to try and get over there and have a look at that. I'm pretty sure it's Littlehampton. I can always get Littlehampton and Bognor mixed up for some reason. Can't think why. Actually, it might be Bognor. Can't be. It's Littlehampton. Yeah. Anyway, but you'll know. Put it in the comments. The one I'm trying to talk about. It's in the sand dunes. It's all collapsed and just neglected with time. So I'm going to have a look round there if I can. I understand they've made a boardwalk, so it might be easier for people like me to access it. So look out for the tricorn hat and the red jacket. And if you do see me, come and say hi. See what I've got to say to myself. It was quite amusing when I turned up at Shoreham. I mean, I've never done a vlog before, but I certainly have worn my um, my period dress clothes elsewhere. In little kids and that have a bit of a, oh look, it's a pirate, it's this, it's that moment, which is quite interesting. You get quite a lot of attention. I mean, I went in the middle of the day for a lot of reasons, just to give the camera a trial run and see what things were like. And of course, if as I said in the vlog, if you're in the area of the Shore Fort, you can get a decent mug of tea down there for £1 as well, if that kiosk is open. And I think it's only £10 annual membership to join, and that goes forwards to maintaining and getting the fort up and running. So hopefully, if they get enough money together, it could be up and running like a museum or a monument to British engineering and the military and history, of course. It's a local landmark. But as I said, if you're trying to get over to Littlehampton, or is it Bognor Regis? You decide. The fort over there. So that's another plan. At some point, I may visit Wall Hill in Ashurst Wood, East Grinstead, where the 1801 highway robbery took place. I may go and have a look down there, see what I can see. I'm not sure what is down there these days. I haven't been down there for a little while, but if you want the story of that, it's on my blog, sussexsmuggler.co.uk. You'll find it all on there. So yeah, there's a couple of plans that I'm looking at doing. I've got some photo shoots coming up again. So looking forward to that and seeing everyone. I've probably seen a lot of the folk that I do the photo shoot with for about well over a year now. Hopefully get to Portsmouth Comic Con if things don't get in the way. Yeah, if you're there and you've got your tickets, make sure you go and see the Gosport Steampunk Society's exhibition. I'm not sure where they are in the building, but I know that Stuart Markham and his branch of the Steampunks will be probably posting their details right now. And don't forget as well, Lawn of the Dead, I think, is also there as well. So it's a big shout out to the Lawn of the Dead and James Waterfield and he's doing. I'm not sure. I think he's doing dinosaur eggs. Hopefully, he'll have a few bits and pieces on sale. So yeah, it's well worth looking at his work too. But look, thanks for tuning in tonight. Look forward to seeing you soon. If you want to keep up with the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Please hit that bell. If you want me blog and all me work on local history, the sussexsmuggler.co.uk. And good evening to you. And hello to if you're watching the replay. I'm Captain James Bollinger. You've been watching the Sussex Smuggler, and I think we'll play out on a bit of Reiviers Gallows. Good night.